I am back. I didn't do an IG live yesterday because I had my first online virtual workshop on how to draft a bra pattern, and I was nervous. So I've taught for 6 years now, and I was nervous about the online class because knowing my luck, the internet would go out and nobody would be able to join, or something else would happen and it would be disastrous. So I was nervous, but it went so well. I could not tell you how happy I am with the outcome, and people from Australia to Switzerland to the US and California, in Chicago, in New Jersey, attended. And I just think that is so cool and awesome that during this time, I know I've been isolated here in the studio and it gets lonely, to be able to connect with these sewers around the world was awesome. And what was even better was that, someone was asking what's on the mannequin. I will get to that. What's even better was that I was nervous. I thought maybe it'd be kind of weird for me to talk into an iPhone for 2 hours, which we took the full 2 hours, which was amazing. But what was awesome was that the class, even though they weren't here, they were so interactive in asking questions on the live chat. How do you do this? How do you do that? And then other students were chiming in like, you should check out this, you should check out that. So I think the success of any class is having a fun and interactive class. It's great when like the students kind of get together and socialize, even though they were on the internet. So that was yesterday, so it was an IG live. If you missed it, guess what? I am actually going to have it for sale, the replay of the webinar. It's actually up. I will follow up with some Instagram stories. So if you missed it or you're interested, you can still watch it. And I'll be coming out with some kits tomorrow for a starter underwire bra kit. So it's not specific to any Madalynne pattern, but if you want to take the underwire class and draft your own pattern, this kit is for you. So stay tuned for that. Today, let me just scroll up through the comments and see if any questions came up. We have an Ireland in here too. Notice the red hair, so I'm a little Irish, if you can't tell. Somebody asked about the mannequin. I'll get to that. I was having technical difficulties. Woo, that was a tongue twister. At the beginning, it was saying that it was telling my followers that I was coming, or that I was going live, and it didn't. So it just took a little lag. But anyways, back to the point. Today, I'm going to be going over common pattern alterations for lingerie. The great thing about sewing is that you have the opportunity to fix any fit errors that come up in garments or lingerie, but that requires a pattern alteration. And I know there are so many seamstresses out there, sewists, who are so scared of patterns, as much as they're scared of lingerie. But there are a few fundamental pattern making rules and methods, and you just use them everywhere, whether it's on a skirt, whether it's on a bra. So I'm going to walk you through 4 of the common pattern alterations, and this is going to be for the Madalynne Simplicity 8229, which is available for purchase on the website. I'll be going over, but these methods can be used for any other bra. So Black Beauty bra, Orange Lingerie bra, Marlboro bra. So they're not specific to Madalynne Simplicity 8229, which that's kind of what I wanted. I didn't want to go over pattern alterations that were specific to one pattern, because then you can't really use them if you're using another pattern. So I'm going to show you four pattern alterations. One is the band, the back band, because you always fit the back band or the band first. Then we're going to go over cup alterations, how to increase fullness, and then how to provide more coverage in case you're spilling out. And then I'm going to do like shaving off a little bit of the bridge. In the Madalynne Simplicity 829, I feel like this is very specific for women. So if it's an inch wide, it's probably too wide. 3/4, 5/8, half of an inch is really specific. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and we're going to go over the back band first, because you always fit a bra for the band. So let me turn the camera around. Okay, so I have the Madalynne Simplicity 8229 on the scrap paper here. It's not pattern paper, but where'd my pen go? Give me 1 second, guys. I thought I got a pen, but it looks like it went MIA. Give me a second. I got a pen. I'm just scatterbrained. I probably put it somewhere. So we're gonna change the back band. So looking at this Madalynne Simplicity 8229, you always fit the back band, and when you fit it, you always want it to be on the loosest hook when you fit it. And if this is feeling too big or even too small, then you take it in at the back band. So let me turn this around. So here we have the back band. And what's important to note about increasing the width is that you would probably think that, let me put this down really quickly. Your common sense would say like, okay, I need to increase the width. So let me add it back here, or let me add it at the side seam. No. What you do is you're going to slice the pattern down here and slash and open it. So this is a concept called slashing and opening for pattern making. And again, it's a fundamental concept that you would use for skirts, you would use for pants. So if you want to increase or decrease the back band, you would slice it here. And you would increase it the amount that you need to. Now just remember that there are 2 back bands. So if you increase it by 1 inch here, you're actually increasing it by 2 inches because it's 1 on each side. I think there was a question about somebody who was in Puerto Rico, and I'm from Puerto Rico. What shipping do I check when buying a kit? So actually I just shipped a kit to Puerto Rico for one of my students at the workshop yesterday. So you just choose skip a box and then you get a flat rate. But you can actually, let me take that back. You can actually use domestic shipping because Puerto Rico is considered a U.S. territory, so they actually don't charge me international shipping. So it's okay if you live in Puerto Rico to choose domestic shipping for that one. Okay, so the next pattern alteration is, let's go to the cups. So here are the cups for the Madalynne Simplicity 8229. Put this over here. So if you are, let me walk over to my mannequin. If you think that you need to increase the volume, a good way to judge that is, and by the volume, let's just say this is too tight. If the bridge is, the bridge should always lay flat against your chest wall. If the bridge is lifting away from your chest wall, one of the most common reasons is because your cup doesn't have enough fullness, so it's standing away. That happens a lot with full bust gals. They buy bands that are too big and cups that are too small, and this is lifting away. So if you need to increase volume for the cups right here, what you would do is, let me walk back over here to my pattern. Really easy is that you would increase this curve right here. So depending on how much that you needed to increase it, you would blend it to 0 here. I'm just drawing arbitrarily, but you would increase the volume and blend it to 0 at the bottom. If you needed to increase it more, you could increase it more. I always like to do the most at the apex and then blend to 0 back at the top and bottom. And then you would retrace it at the top here along the wire seam line and cut out your new pattern. You would do the same thing to the side cup because you don't want to add volume to one side versus the other. Okay, so we've gone over back band, if you need to increase it or decrease it, cup volume, if you need to increase it. Also, if you need to decrease it, let's just say you're an A cup or a double A cup and you need to reduce that curve, you can do that as well. So it applies to adding and eliminating volume. Now let's just say that, taking the mannequin here, let's just say that you're spilling out on the top here. So you're just spilling out above here. Of course, this fits this gal, but let's just say you're spilling out. So what you want to do is you want to take that same concept of slashing and opening. You're going to slash it through the center of the cup, and then you're going to increase this length right here to add more coverage so that you're not spilling over. All right, so taking this same cup pattern, what you would do is you would draw a line from the apex. It can really be anywhere. And I'm holding the phone with one hand, so I can't draw a straight line. You would cut along this line. I like one end of the line to be at the apex, which is that notch. So you're going to slice this open or slice through that line. And you would open up the pattern however much you need it. And this is going to provide you more coverage at the top, so if you're spilling out, it will prevent that. This is the same concept of slashing. This is actually slashing and opening. What we did to the back band was slashing and spreading. And you would do the same thing to this side. And then once you slashed and opened, you would retrace your bra pattern using a curved ruler or a straight ruler. And this doesn't affect the wire seam line. So what's good about these two alterations was if you had to, let's just say you did this, then you altered the wire seam line and you'd actually have to increase the wire seam line so that your cups fit into the wire seam. So the last alteration is the bridge width. So I'm bringing the bridge over here. Or this is the frame, actually. That's the wrong word, the frame. So this width right here is very specific on women. So some women are wider set, some women are narrower set. So some women require 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. I haven't really encountered anything that's wider than an inch. And mind you, this has seam allowance on it. So it looks really wide right here, but it actually has 1/4 of an inch seam allowances, so it's not that wide. And this is, what I mean by it's really specific is that if it's supposed to be 1/2 of an inch and I sew it and it's actually 3/8 of an inch or 3/4 of an inch, that is something that I will take out and make sure that I have it exactly as I need it, because this, if this doesn't fit, one, it's an eyesore because it's right in the center, and two, it just is really, you can really tell when this is too wide or too narrow. So if you need to adjust this, let's just say you need to make it a little bit narrower or a little bit wider, all you do is you just will take off right here, and then you'll blend it. I'd like to blend it to the original line at the bottom of the cup. And if you take it in about 1/4 of an inch, you're not increasing or decreasing this wire length or this seam line. It's so small that it really is negligible if you take it in here, so you won't have to increase the wire line or decrease the wire line. Okay. So I went over the back band, increasing, decreasing, using the slash and open method. How to increase and decrease the cup volume. Just add over the apex however much you need. Blend to 0 at the top.